Before you even finish your first cup of coffee, you've already used products from half a dozen companies that you could be making money from without even realizing it. From your toothpaste to your smartphone, your morning routine quietly reveals the brands that you're funding every single day. But what if those habits could do more than just start your day? What if they could shape your entire investment portfolio? And interestingly, many of these investment ideas I'm about to go over, they are something that you may have never even considered. In fact, there's one kind of gross daily ritual that nearly everybody does that might be the best investment clue of all. But more on that in a minute. That said, keep in mind that Wall Street spends millions of dollars trying to predict what people are buying and where to invest next. But you already have the inside scoop, which is your own personal morning routine. If a brand has earned a spot in your daily life, chances are it's done the same for tens of millions of others. The good news about this, you don't need to be glued to financial news or buried in reports to spot great investment ideas. So what could your habits reveal about your next smart investment? Well, stick around as I walk you through my own very relatable morning routine and show you how everyday products can lead to real investment opportunities. All right, let's be honest here. So my day starts the same way as most people in America. I grab my phone before I even get out of bed and check what's going on with the world. And I'm not unique here. In fact, about 80% of Americans check their phones within 15 minutes of waking up. And for a lot of us, that device is an iPhone. Apple leads the US smartphone market with around 57% of Americans using an iPhone as of 2024. It's kind of wild when you think about it. This little habit of scrolling through our notifications and checking emails or just kind of seeing what we missed out on overnight is something that nearly everybody does. And it's not just about convenience, it's about loyalty. Apple's ecosystem, it is so sticky. And once you're in it, you're probably using, AirPods or maybe an Apple Watch and syncing everything to the iCloud. Now, I'm definitely guilty of it myself.
Apple's ecosystem loyalty is powerful, but it's also vulnerable if competitors crack that seamless integration or they stop innovating.
Yes, good points for sure, Tiara. But they found a way to keep innovating since their inception. So I think that they'll just continue to grow well into the future. By the way, if you like insights like these from both AI and myself, make sure that you subscribe to stay up to date and get investment ideas before they hit the mainstream. And just remember, when a company's products are, this woven into our lives, like the iPhone, it's worth considering as an investment, especially when it performs like Apple has. But let's keep moving because the next step in my morning routine here, it might surprise you with another investment idea that you probably never even thought about. And if you think that brushing your teeth is the most boring part of the day, you'll definitely want to hear how that mindless habit could point to a global market leader with 40% market share dominance. So here's something funny. Every morning, without even thinking, I reach for my trusty tube of Colgate toothpaste. I've done it for years, and honestly, I bet a lot of you do the same thing. It's just one of those habits that's pretty much automatic, right? You don't even notice it anymore. But that's exactly what makes it so interesting from an investing perspective. Colgate isn't just another brand in the toothpaste aisle either. They're the heavyweight champ, right? They own about 41% of the global toothpaste market. And that's huge, especially when you realize that toothpaste, the industry as a whole, is worth around $24 billion and it keeps growing. But Colgate isn't just sticking to toothpaste either. They're always rolling out new products and have even expanded into pet care, which means they're finding new ways to grow.
Also worth noting, Colgate's market share has held steady for over a decade. That's rare consistency.
That's definitely worth keeping in mind as well, Tiara, so thank you for that. So the next time that you're, just brushing your teeth.
Why are you gay?
Remember, you're not just keeping your smile fresh, you're actually consuming a product with a company, in this case, Colgate-Palmolive, that's built a business on everyday routines. So yeah, brushing your teeth just went from boring to brilliant. And that 40% market share that I mentioned earlier, well, yeah, it's Colgate. And now you know why that matters. Now, if you think that brushing your teeth is the only habit hiding investment ideas, just wait until you see what's next in the morning routine that I guarantee you that you do at least 5 times a day yourself. So every morning after brushing my teeth, right, I'm in the bathroom and I head over to the faucet or I flush a toilet, just like everyone else. But it turns out a lot of those fixtures that I use every single day are made by brands under the Masco Corporation, which is the kind of gross investment opportunity I alluded to in the beginning of this video here. So you probably don't see the Masco name on your sink, but if you've ever used Delta faucets or many popular toilets, you've used their products. What's wild is how much of our lives are shaped by these, behind the scenes companies like Masco. So Masco actually controls about 22% of the plumbing products market and nearly 19% of the entire home improvement sector in the US. That means every time that I fix a leaky faucet or think about remodeling, I'm putting money in Masco's pocket without even realizing it. The thing to realize here is that companies like Masco are built on daily routines that never go out of style. People are always going to need to use the bathroom and update their fixtures. And that steady demand makes for an extremely resilient investment. So next time that you're half awake in the middle of the night and taking a pee, remember, there's an investment opportunity right where you're aiming. But that's not the only place that my routine points me toward. Wait until you see how my pets are involved in the next one here. So here's a part of my morning that's probably familiar to a lot of you. Before I even think about breakfast for myself, I'm feeding or playing with my cat or dog. It's just part of the routine. And honestly, I can't imagine starting the day any other way. But here's something I realized. Nearly every scoop of kibble or a new toy that I order, it usually comes from Amazon. And I'm definitely not alone in that habit. Amazon is absolutely dominating the pet supply world right now. In 2023, pet supply sales on Amazon hit $18.2 billion in the US, up nearly 25% from the year before. And that growth isn't slowing down either. Experts actually predict that pet supply sales on Amazon will continue to increase significantly over time.
Although Amazon dominates now, rising shipping costs and competition from Chewy could nibble at that pet supply pie.
And actually, while making this video, I knew that somebody would say that they like Chewy over Amazon. So thanks for mentioning that, Tiara, and you're absolutely right. It's also worth noting, though, that almost 90% of pet owners now shop online for their furry friends. So whether it's Amazon or Chewy, the industry it's only growing. But it doesn't stop at pets either. There's another small, adorable reason my morning gets even more expensive and could be more profitable if I was an investor in it. So here's a part of my morning that probably sounds familiar to a lot of parents out there. After taking care of the pets, it's time to feed my son, Timmy. So for us, that usually means grabbing some Gerber baby food, which happens to be owned by Nestle from the pantry. It's quick, easy, and honestly, it's a brand that we trust. But Nestle isn't just a baby food company, right? They're a global powerhouse in food and beverages, with products in nearly every single aisle in the grocery store. In fact, Nestle is the world's largest food and beverage company, and their reach is massive. They own everything from Gerber baby food to coffee brands like Nescafe and even pet food labels. So why does this matter for investing? Well, when a company's products are so much a part of your daily routine that you don't even have to think about them, that's a sign of real staying power. And Nestle's ability to show up in so many parts of our lives means that they have a built-in resilience. Even if one product line slows down, another one can just pick up the slack. So next time you're feeding your little one or grabbing a snack for yourself, take a second to check on what brand it actually comes from. You might be holding a piece of a global investment opportunity and you didn't even have to leave your kitchen to find it. But my morning isn't over yet. There's one more stop before the day really gets rolling, and it's a place where a lot of us invest in ourselves. I'm one of those people who actually likes getting to the gym early. My go-to spot is Planet Fitness. It's close. And there's just something about starting the day with a workout that makes everything else feel easier. And judging by the packed parking lot I see every morning, I'm definitely not the only one who feels that way. Now, Planet Fitness has built a whole business around making fitness approachable and affordable. With over 18 million members and more than 2,500 locations across the US as of 2024, they've turned the gym from something intimidating into a place where anybody can feel comfortable. They have their judgment-free zone vibe, and it costs $10 a month for a membership. And those are big reasons why so many people, including me, keep coming back. The cool thing with them is that even when money's tight, that low-cost gym membership is one of the last things that most people cut. Now, if you're wondering how to spot even more of these opportunities, let's talk about how you can use your own routine to uncover some hidden gems. Ever notice how your morning routine feels like it runs on autopilot? That's exactly why it's such a goldmine for spotting investment ideas. I realized that every step of my morning, so grabbing my Apple iPhone, brushing my teeth with Colgate, turning on the Masco faucet, feeding the pets with Amazon, grabbing Nestle baby food for Timmy and sweating it out at Planet Fitness, that connects me to companies that millions of people rely on daily. And if everything in this video has you thinking, okay, well, I see the investment ideas, but now what? You're not alone. If you're still not sure about investing or whether or not it's worth your time to think and learn about all this stuff, check out the video right here to learn why investment is really the only true way of building wealth.